here. So today's webinar is over the O4 customer portal. Brief little history here. We moved over to the O4 customer portal a few years ago to remove the burden off of our users of maintaining it. Before, users would have to start their own Tomcat and have to manage their own server. We want to take that away from you, which is what we'll be eventually doing with the legacy version of Oasis that will also be going to the web. So when your customers first log into your portal, this is what they'll see. There will be slight changes on their end because I'm logging in as a user, not as a customer. But what the main difference you'll see here is they won't have access to your conversations, so they won't be able to go over here and view the conversations in your transactions, nor will they be able to go to any of the other sections of Oasis. Main thing they will see is this and the 4 sections at the top left. We'll first cover is the setup for your contacts of your customers. Easiest way to go to there is click on the Oasis menu at the top left, click on contacts, and you can choose between one of your customers. And let's see, we'll go ahead and just open one of these here. The main thing you have to worry about here is having a web password. This web user ID is no longer used. That is a relic from the original customer portal, hence why I mentioned that before. The actual login is based on their email that they have up here. So this is their actual user ID to log in with, and then they need a web password. There's also going to be an expiration date for this as well that you'll also set. You can view that by going through and clicking on the edit window, and you can set it up through here as well. Password expiration. Then you can just choose here. You can also type in the date as well if needed. If you're logged in as a regular Oasis user, you can go back to the portal view by clicking on the Oasis menu at the top left and then clicking portal again. That'll take you back to your portal view. As I said before, your customers will not have to do that. They'll always be stuck here. We'll go ahead and move over to the order status section. We will cover some more admin level things at the end after I cover these 4 sections, including how to set up this logo and the welcome message as well. This will be where your customers are essentially going to be most of the time, looking for updates on the orders that you have for them. Now you can search by PO number or specific project. By default, what I'm going to show here is I'm going to show all orders. You can also say just all open orders or just your orders that you're working through, or that the customer was on. We'll go ahead and do search all here. This will give me a good list to work with. So what they can see first is they click on their order, and that will give them a list of information pertinent for them, mostly shipping information, carrier tracking, etc. These columns cannot be changed. They are set in stone. You cannot change them. You can, however, view the addresses up here. Of course, this is a test database, so we have very simple addresses entered in at the moment, but you can view the addresses pertinent to the PO from here. At below, it will describe the status codes here. So HC calculated dates, scheduled ship dates, and actual ship dates. These are fairly straightforward, and we have a pretty good description of what these do. None of this has changed as it has functioned in the past. Now, you also have access to a project view, or rather your customers have access to a project view. Clicking on that will show the rest of the material that's waiting to be ordered, so they can view the rest of the stuff that has to be shipped out. Notice we have an SO number here as well, so it's much easier to see whether something's been shipped or not, or has an order associated. They can also export this information, whether you're in the regular order view or in the actual project view, by clicking on the top left. You have a couple of different options as usual, PDF and Excel print. Select the one you want and click OK, and then they can print off that as a report if they'd like to. Back on the order status menu at the top left, There's also a view for shipping updates. This is based on the last 24 hours. Notice it does that by default here. I do not have any recent shipping updates, as I have not been sending orders off to a manufacturer, of course. But that would then list anything with since yesterday that has a shipping update. This cannot be changed at the moment. It's the only thing that's been recent. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the line card section. The last remaining 3 sections here are fairly straightforward. With the line card, this is going to show all of your manufacturers that are set to advertise, which we will also cover here in just a moment as well. If the manufacturer is set to advertise, they will show up on this list for your customers to view. So that way they'll know who you're working with essentially. And then they can see any freight terms necessary or minimum orders that's required for them in order to take an order through that manufacturer. We'll also have any websites you've entered. Of course, all of ours say our website, but they would be able to go there and view that manufacturer's website based on the line card. You can set these manufacturers to show by going to the manufacturer section, opening up a manufacturer, click the edit button at the top left. And then look for the advertise. It does say web advertise. So long as this is checked, it will show up there. Now I'll go back to the portal section by clicking on the menu again and then portal. Then we're going to go ahead and look at the bid board. So this is going to be any projects they have ongoing that's viewable on the bid board. And you have a few different options to sort these by project, location, the vertical market if you use it, by the quarter on the project, and by the actual bid date of the project. Information shown here cannot be changed. This is by default what it will show in the line card view or in the card view. Last section to look at real quick is the product section. This can be enabled by a global setting, which is what we will check, or rather what we will go through here in just a moment. You have an option to search through all manufacturers. If you just hit search, it will bring up results for all of the parts that you have, but you can also, they can also search by individual catalog numbers. The asterisk wildcard also functions here as well. So I could say, I think I have a few, yeah, I have a couple of A's in here. So this essentially will look like. Based on the results, it will either be in this card view or in a list. So if I were to say just A in star, it will show a listing like so. There's no further information for them to glean from this, however. You can't like open the part to another window. Just gives them the basic information, including any stocking program or any lead time entered in so far. That's the 4 main sections of the customer portal. I want to go ahead and look at the configuration part of this. How you can find that on the O4 section is click on the Windows, or I'm sorry, the engine menu, click on configuration, click on software, global settings, and then web. So the first thing here is the customer order visibility. This is how long the orders will stay visible on the web portion of the database. So if the entry date is more than 360 days, the order will fall off of the customer portal view. This is where you can enable the line card section and product section as well. You can also enable customer specific pricing using the product section. If you do not have this checked, it will just show you the generic price that's in the price list itself. Then the rest of this is pretty straightforward, including the last update, bid board update, any of the users' previous comments on the job, and allowing contractors access. This essentially is that allows any contractors to log in as well, whether it's a distributor or a contractor. By default, if you uncheck that, contractors will not have access to it. In order to enable the logo to show, you choose this from the web work group. This tells the customer portal which logo to use, along with the notification, which I will show what that looks like inside the work group here momentarily. This is also where you'll set up a couple of more information here, such as notification accounts, which this is mostly used for conversations and sending out order status updates. And this is additionally, this is other basic web setups as well. The rest of this is not pertinent to the customer portal at this time. Now, for the workgroup section of this, we are currently using our territory or demo territory workgroup. Now, there's going to be two different versions of this here on the logo. This is what's going to be showing in your reports and transactions when you print them. So this is going to be your small logo and your large logo. So small logo is for any of your transactions when you print them, and large logos when you do reports. So these are not related to what shows on the customer portal. We need to go to the web tab to view that. And this is where it's pulling in the web logo. So you have the login logo and then the actual web logo that shows on the customer side when they're actually in there, the welcome to O4 customer portal, where it says the home message below here as well. Trinity, is there anything else I need to cover here?
The activity and the configuration, I think, would be the last thing to cover.
Yes. Okay. So you can view when customers or even your own users are logging into O4 by going to your configuration section and then clicking on O4 activity at the top and then O4 session monitor. And this shows who is currently active in your O4 database. Now, the limitation here is that it will not differentiate between your users or your actual customers logging in by default, but you can tell if it's an actual customer by the company name. So it will show the actual customers or contractor's name here. Right now, of course, I'm logged in as myself in this session, so it shows me as within Engine software. Do not be concerned about this machine identification. This is an IP address. However, it is an internal address and it will not be pertinent to their side of the things. The other options here are currently active sessions, who has logged in the last 24 hours. So we have a few people, including Trinity, who's helping me today. And then the last 30 days, which we should have a few more. Yeah, there we go. So this shows when the users have logged in from there. Notice we have different login sessions here. Multiple ones of us in the office have used the demo user during our trainings in this particular database. It looks like we have a question.
Yep. So it looks like we were asked, how do you limit what orders and or manufacturers users see? Do the actual users need to be tagged on the specific orders, or can a user see all orders for their distributor?
Okay, for the on the customer side, I'm assuming, or the Oasis users. Oh, okay, on the customer side. Okay, so the limitation is going to be whether or not they have those orders. So this goes back to the configuration portion of this as well. The main limitation here is through that global setting that we have under the web tab and customer order visibility. If that customer is on that order and it falls within this customer order visibility, then it will show up on their list. So we can't just hide the order from them essentially if it's been created for that customer.
Did we have any other questions? So there was one more in here, and I think I can answer this one. It was, is the portal included in the O4 package? So it is not. The customer portal is an add-on to O4. And then we had a follow-up to the previous question, and it was, do I need to tag Steven specifically on the order, or will he be able to see all engine orders?
Now they would be able to see all of the orders for that particular manufacturer. So that customer, so essentially, if we go, let me go ahead and go back to it real quick so I can give you the overall view here. And go back to the order status. So notice the options that I have here as the customer view. All manufacturers, all open orders. Well, I don't have any shipping updates, so we'll just click search here. Hang on just a moment.
And then Nancy added, I think what's trying to be asked is, if I am a distributor, can I see all orders for my company, or just orders where my name is the contact for that order?
Gotcha. So yeah, it's going to be all of their customer orders, I would do believe, yes.
So if that contact is in the customer entry, they will be able to see the orders for that company.
I do not believe there's a way to limit it to the specific contact on the order either. So if they're in that contact list, you see the orders for that particular company that they're with. Sure thing. Okay, any other questions?
Nancy also asked, you need to be an O4 subscriber to get the customer portal. I'll go ahead and answer this one. Yes, so you do have to have O4 in order to get the O4 customer portal add-on.
going to leave the questions open for a few more minutes here before we let everybody go. So no rush. If you've got a moment to think of what you need to ask, go right ahead. We'll leave it open for a few more minutes. Can you show an XLSX export? Yep. Give me just a moment here. We're going to do a quick print. So as before, when you go into the order, it's going to be at the top here. It says export. Oh, Trinity did mention, remind me to mention something else here. The O2O is also available here, so they can get the O2O file direct download, so they can import it into their database, their Oasis database as well, if they were to do that. Excel. Port is ready. Click to download. And that will bring it down here. Just a moment here. I think that will open up in another window. I may need to drag it over. Yep, hang on just a second. There you go. And that's what that will look like. So essentially, very basic export of it, just the columns and the values of it. I can't see it. I think I have it on the correct window. Hang on just a moment. May need to change my screen share. Oh, I did have it. Hang on, just a second. Let me bring it back.
No, you'll have to change your screen share. I think you have it
Okay.
set to the window.
Oh, I may have. Okay, hang on just a second. Let's see. Screen 2, I believe. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, it looks like I was just sharing the Chrome window instead. That would be why. Okay, yep. You should be able to see it now. Not a problem. Going to leave questions open for a couple more minutes here. If you have anything, get it in. All right. Thank you for coming. We're going to go ahead and end the session now. Have a good day.